Hey, so Adam wrote to me and let me show you what he sent me. This is it. Hey Bo, as a channel member, I was wondering if you could do me a special treat. Sure, I can try. I'm going to the Wall of GT again this year with my team. We've all had great success, toppling most of the meta players of the world with many, many tournament wins, but none of us has ever topped one of the Babs Open tournaments. I'd love for this to change. Well, wouldn't we all? You're going to go up against some hardcore international going Team England players, so that will be interesting. So I'm going to take one of these three lists to the Warlord GT with the intention of going for a top spot. Wow, that is aiming for the stars, my friend. I like it. I like the Just promise me you won't be disappointed if you don't make it, because there's a lot of people doing that. I'd love to know which one you think is the strongest for a very aggressive player. Ooh, aggression. And any changes you would recommend for each. My thoughts on the three lists, and let's start with the one that's called the top tier list. This is my take on the optimal German setup right now. Some very obvious choices, but if it ain't broken, why don't fix it? This has net me podium every time. Right, that should be very good, shouldn't it? Something that lands you podium. 18 order dice Germany. At 1250, 18 order dice is bang on the bucks. That is what I think you could do. Regular lieutenant, you're taking it regular in order to utilize that extra snap too. That's the only reason you're doing that, right? Panzer Grenadiers, 5 men with 3 submachine guns. Yep. These could have a Panzerfaust. Maybe they don't need it. It depends on how you run them. Another Panzer Grenadier, double Panzer Grenadiers. Ideally, I want 2 transports for these. An AT rifle, very meta. I like it. Another officer again with. You can save a few points here potentially if you're not using all that snap too, right? You can save points here. Felchendarms, 4 men pistols. Yep, love it. Brandenburgers, 5 men, and 5 submachine guns. Maybe not needed. These guys are going to stay outside for most, just to do the paranoia sabotage thing. 5th columnists, nice for grabbing objectives early on in the game, and an AT rifle. Yeah, it is. This is what I call a greatest hits of Germany list, right? It is a greatest hit list. The only thing that's lacking here is a backline holder. So one of these Panzer Grenadiers could be a machine gun squad of some sort. Otherwise, it's very much the meta at the moment. But the backline holders come with this one. We have an inexperienced officer. Again, could save a point on the rifle. He's never going to shoot that. Howling Cow, rocket launcher, and a mule team because it's very, very cheap. I like it. Armor platoon, Panzer 3, Aus E, drilling, Stummel, double Stummel. Another armored platoon, Panzer 3, Packwagen with the hull-mounted AT gun. That is an anti-tank hunter. I think potentially we can do something with the armor here. The drilling. It is very good with all those autocannons, but it is very vulnerable, as are the Stummels. Ideally for me, I would add 1 more Panzer 3, and I would make it a G. That would also mean that your Packwagen is no longer needed, because the Packwagen is your anti-tank vehicle, right? But a Panzer G has a medium anti-tank gun. That's pretty good. For most tournaments, that is all you need, all you ever need. So I don't think you need the Packwagen with a heavy AT gun. I think you can cut that out and add 1 more Panzer 3G. Now, where to find the rest of those points? I think the Stummel is a little bit overkill. This is basically just a Hanomag with a light howitzer on it. Do you really need it to transport 6 dudes. That will be an officer plus 3 men up your SMG bombs. I don't think you do. I think it's too many points you're sinking into these stummels. 250/1 or /10 could do it. The small Hanomag, the half-sized Hanomag, right? That I think could do it. That I think has a 6-man transport capacity. So there are things that you could change up that could free up a couple of points here, which might be enough to just push you over the edge towards even greater greatness. The drilling is nice, I grant you that. I think it's a little too much, too many shots at one target, I guess. I faced drillings at the WTC, didn't bother me at all. Of course I was armored, but so I'm not very fussed about a drilling. I've yet to face a drilling that I feared, so maybe change that out. Panzer II is my personal favorite. The Panzer I Experimental is also a brilliant little tank. Very much for an aggressive player. So look at the WTC at Anders Midtgaard Madsen's list from my team. He had 3 of those Panzer I C something experimentals. They were absolutely devastating to the enemy. So maybe you want to go that route instead of the drilling. Maybe. Right. Let's look at the second list. Here we go. Operation FU. This is based on bringing Panzerfaust to bear. I figured a tank or 2 of points spent on Faust should do more than a tank or 2 of damage. Maybe. I had moderate success with this one. Right, let's see. Operation FU. Here we go. 18 order dice, Germany again. Officer, pistol, again regular. And here, Panzer Grenadiers. Fausts, 2 Faust. And this is because it's a hunter unit. Right, if you just want a unit that can sort of keep enemy armor at bay, give them 1 Panzerfaust. If you want a hunter, give them 2. Because they're going to go up there and they're going to shoot both Faust in order to ensure the kill, right? They need to be sure of that kill. Double of these, yep. Makes sense. Virgin armor, yep. And I actually think that these guys should be in outflank, which means that they don't need the officer as much. They can use the officer's morale, but not the snap 2, so you can make him inexperienced. And then this is the one I'm talking about, the 251/1 Hanomag 12-man capacity. No, this is the 250/1. That's it. That's the 5-man capacity, right? The half Hanomag. Yeah, brilliant. One of those units in this, the other one in that one, and then an AT rifle. There's a bunch of stuff that can go in that one. Another regular officer, don't need that. No. You've already got... Take something else. At this point, just go with something else. You already have the SMG Panzerfaust combo on 2 units. Take something else for these. I would much rather at this point have LMGs, simply because they're much more useful and you have them sitting in your back lines. Artillery platoon against Howling Cow. Yep. That makes sense. You could add in light autocannon to that, a flak gun. Armor platoon, Panzer G. That's the one we need. The drilling, maybe not. The 17Rs are definitely not worth it. Yeah, they're a cheap order dice, but that is more or less all they are. Stummel again. Yeah, I can see that happening. Only 1 armored platoon in this one. Yeah, that works. That works for me. And then the final one, 251/250. Okay, this is entirely new. Sorry to say, I haven't tried it in practice, but I loaded up on these lighter vehicles with all punch above my weight because the key to breaking this boring meta for me. Right, light vehicle spam. Where have I heard that one before? Let's go. 15 order dice. Lower on order dice. Nice. Still okay. Officer inexperienced. Again, you don't need a rifle. Panzer Grenadiers. Yep. You like these Panzer Grenadiers, don't you? Lots of those. This one definitely doesn't need to be a Panzer Grenadier, and he definitely should not have a submachine gun, but an LMG. And then the half Hanemax, yep, half-sized, one of those. You could definitely take two. Why not take two? Take two. Another officer, Feldgendarm, Spähtruppen, always nice. I'll do work for you. I think you should go more into your transport vehicles. 251/10 armored car with a forward-facing light AT gun. Might work. I like the Panzer IIIs better. Double drillings, triple drillings. No. Not for me, this. No. And another Parkwagen and another 251/10. Double Parkwagens. Right. This is trying to overload your opponent with armor 7, open-topped. I did the same at the WTC with armor 8, and it worked. Will armor 7 work? It's a lot of vehicles. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus the transports. It might. I just think that you could easily cut back a little on the Panzer Grenadiers and have a couple of backline holders instead, and have a couple more half-track transports. I think if you could do that, that would be better, because these ideally need a transport each, right? And they're not getting it. So, yeah. I don't think you need this extra platoon here. But on the other hand, you really need the ordered ice at this one. Let us know in the comments what you think. Which one should he run for the Warlord GT? I personally would run the top tier list because it's the one that you know. But I would change up a few things, right? I would change up the Stummels, make them cheaper, and buy a Panzer III for the points that you possibly save. That's it for me today. Let us know in the comments what you think. And if you want to send me stuff, my